So when you cut into plants or stomp over grass, do they feel it? Do plants feel pain? It sounds like a silly question, but worth thinking about because it raises questions of what pain really is and if plants are even conscious enough to feel anything. I study pain for my PhD. Let's talk about it. So you and I and most animals have pain sensors in our bodies, and those rely on nerves that carry information about the things we experience from the body to the brain. The short answer is, since plants don't have nerves or pain receptors or brains, they can't feel pain like you and I do. But interestingly enough, we know Venus flytraps can respond to touch. They famously snap their leaves shut when their prey enters it. And scientists have found that, like us, that touch produces an electrical signal that results in their bodies moving. I remember being so afraid of Venus flytraps when I was a kid. So this is some pretty good evidence that plants can respond to touch. Another wild example is the Mimosa pudica, which also folds up when touched. These can actually be anesthetized with drugs like lidocaine, which is the same thing that the dentist uses to numb your mouth. That works in Venus flytraps too. In our cells, lidocaine blocks the electrical activity of pain-sensing cells. So these pain cells can't talk to the brain because they're effectively shut down. These plants also rely on electrically charged particles and electricity itself to drive this touch response. Scientists think that's why the lidocaine is blocking their activity. It's so wild to think about how our most basic mechanisms are applying across the animal kingdom and the plant kingdom. Like, we're really all made of the same basic ingredients out here. So back to the point, plants can detect touch, but can they feel pain? Some would say yes. Researchers have found that some plants release chemical gases when they're damaged, and they argue that this is a form of a pain response. Other researchers have reported to detect ultrasonic sounds coming from plants that were damaged or dehydrated. So tell me, do you think that counts as pain? Pain researchers define pain as an unpleasant sensory and emotional experience brought about by actual or potential tissue damage. So it's a two-sided response where you sense the damage and you experience the unpleasantness of it. And this is a conscious process that in itself requires a brain. Since we have no definitive proof that plants are conscious, we don't even have 100% proof that humans are conscious, but that's a whole rabbit hole topic for a different video. Since we can't prove plants are conscious, we can't say that they're perceiving something as complex as pain, because they might be able to respond to damage in ways that are like wild, but so can bacteria. Bacteria can sense chemicals in their environment that they want to stay away from and move in the opposite direction. So I personally can't say plants can feel pain, but they have really complex ways of interacting with their environment and keeping themselves away from danger. And it's really cool how we share some of these same basic mechanisms. Let me know what you think though, and leave any questions you have in the comments.